So this one goes out to all the men that are either being destroyed by women or have been destroyed by women, or also commonly known as the red pill community, which is 100% of the synagogue of Satan. Although they mean well, they are doing tremendous damage. So I am endeavoring myself to destroying the temple of Satan, one pillar at a time. And this pillar here creates war between the genders, male and female, when the entire problem is men not knowing themselves. Because it is impossible for you to get hurt by any female or destroyed by any female when you know yourself. Because you are the one that becomes the prize, not the other way around. So many weak men out here in their feelings, worshiping women when they should be worshiping God the Father, fearing God and loving themselves. You see, I was one of them, so I definitely have experience in this because I lived it. My ex destroyed me, and I didn't know any better, being born into this world that the Illuminati sell the lie through Disney and through the media. And while you're getting destroyed by women, it seems like they are pure evil when they are not. If anything, they are helping us to know ourselves by breaking the not you, by destroying the you that you are not, the evil you, the one that is attached to all those feelings, because women get life from destroying men, weak men. If anything, they are only doing us a tremendous favor, because looking back, if my ex hadn't tried to destroy me, I'd be a shadow of the man that I am today. Because when you know yourself, you realize that everything that doesn't kill you is only making you stronger. Everything is working for you, not against you. And it only destroys you when you are judging the knowledge of good and evil. Because when you judge good or evil, all you're doing is eating from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is what Adam and Eve did, which caused them to die, which is why they were depressed about yesterday and anxious for tomorrow, when all we truly have is here and now. And the behavior of women nowadays is not because they are pure evil, rather they have been led by nothing but weak men. What do you expect? In a world so dangerous, women defend themselves with lies, with underhand moves, with gossiping in the way that they do, because they lack the physical strength that men do. And in the same way that a woman will probably say, what would drive that man to go and shoot that other man, to go and punch that other man? We also say, what would drive her to go and create this lie about this man? And a woman will never judge another woman because they fully understand what the feelings can drive any woman to do. You see, women need help with the hell that they have inside of them, which is why they need love. The hell being the emotions, the ups and the downs and the sides and to side. And if women can trust men with love, they wouldn't have to go to witchcraft or all these other deities. Because at the very least, these deities at least bring a sort of quick result, as opposed to these weak men that are supposed to be guiding them. And for all the women listening, I suggest that you look within yourself for the peace of God that comes from within. Because what you are searching for can only be filled with God, and is even more unfortunate for the women that had weak fathers or didn't have a good relationship with their fathers. And the reason why some women hate men is because they first hated their fathers. And for the men, the first step to knowing yourself is by being completely honest about everything. Being honest with yourself, telling the truth in all situations, because every single time you lie, you make yourself spiritually weak. Speaking the truth is a masculine trait. Lying is a feminine trait, because you are afraid of the consequences you lie. And oftentimes are the reason why some of your wives or girlfriends hate you. They don't hate the fact that you lied to them. Rather, they hate the fact that you brought down your masculinity because you were afraid of her. And if you are afraid of her, how is she to look at you, to defend her against the world, to lead her in the right direction? How do you expect her to respect you? And when you speak the truth about everything in your life, you are loving yourself, because you are finally being honest with yourself, no matter how ridiculous you sound. And you will realize that you will receive respect from every corner around you, simply by telling the truth, because the truth will guide you into all truth. The second step is to forgive and love everyone around you, and especially forgiving both your mother and your father. Your father, because love comes from the Father. Forgive your father, no matter what it is that he ever did. Because when you know yourself, you know that of yourself you couldn't help yourself to do the things that you've done in your life. So who are you to judge anybody? And understand that your parents only did the best that they could with what they had. And in the moment when you forgive your mother, you will be shaking your boots, afraid. But when you forgive your mother, you will no longer be attached to your feelings. If you can't help yourself but to be emotionally attached to a woman when you have barely met her, or you can't help yourself but to be in your feelings or emotional, is because you have yet to forgive your mother. And typically, the reason why we must forgive our mothers is for turning us away from our fathers. Of course, not all, but in the most part. And as adults, I understand that our parents only did the best that they could with what they had, but you must forgive. It takes tremendous strength to forgive. Anybody can hold a grudge, but it takes tremendous strength to fall and get back up and love in the same manner from which you had prior to fall. And is the root of the ego, the not you, the spirit that you made when you were a child and you were first traumatized, because it usually came from your parents. But everything is spiritual, and since everything man makes is evil, it's a spirit. The reason you cannot help yourself but to do the things that you've done in your life, because the only way Satan can ever mess with you is by messing with himself. And since everything man makes is evil, it's the only way he could ever attach himself to you. And lastly, by knowing the meaning of your name. I typically use names.org, maintaining a healthy prayer life, once in the evening before you go to bed and once in the morning before you start your day. Being still and knowing God within yourself by observing every thought within yourself. Because when you are still, with your eyes closed and observing every single thought and letting them go, bring every thought into captivity, letting every single thought go. And what you are left with is you surrounded by all these thoughts that you didn't even make yourself. And when you know yourself, you will know God, because God is within you. He's not only in the book. And you quite literally become the meaning of your name when you are still. And for the strongholds in our lives, we must apply Christ in our life, that He may be manifest in our life. Because through Christ we become more than conquerors, which is the willingness to die of our flesh. Because when Christ died on the cross, He did it willingly for you and for me, to give us life and everlasting life. He came that we couldn't even keep the commandments, but through Him we may have life and life more abundantly. To willingly say no to that addiction. And when you willingly say no to that addiction, the first pain that you will notice, it will come directly from the heart, because the issue is of the heart, which is to accept Christ into your heart, because you willingly accept the pain and endure the pain and believe in the crucifixion, because we become more than conquerors through Jesus Christ. Know yourself, that you may know God within yourself, and we may become one in the body of Christ and in the army of God.